Good evening and welcome to Made by Millworks and the Made Storytelling Hours. I'm the guest curator for this evening, Steven Deeble, and I would like to welcome you. We have a delicious program for you this evening. A meal in 3 courses, if you will. We're going to be hearing from Sasha Cano, Chef Paul Buchanan, and who else? I'm sorry, I just blanked. Kasdan. Oh my God, Kasdan, I'm so sorry. Don't hurt me, please. Kasdan. Yeah, I know. That's why she's here. I wish I was as good. I'm sorry, Josh. Okay, they're docking me. They're already docking me. So here's the thing. I wanted to start by thanking Michelle Molina and Heather Kern and the team here at Made for all the amazing things that they do. And since Heather and Michelle aren't here, I thought it would be a great time to talk about them. Right? So, hey, me too. Yeah. So last night, was anybody down here for the Live After 5? That was amazing, right? Was that great? So these are the kinds of things that they're doing in Long Beach, and I am so excited to be a part of this. So let's get started. Yeah, okay, thank you. So I wanted to start out by talking a little bit about why I'm doing this, and that begins with a little story that starts across the street years ago when I was shooting a video for the Downtown Long Beach Associates. We were down there shooting, and there was a couple sitting at a table by King's Fish House eating, and they were from the Midwest here for a conference at the convention center. They saw us shooting, and they asked me, so what are you guys doing? And so I started by telling them about the video that we were producing for the DLBA. And then I started telling them about the Downtown Long Beach Associates and what they do for the businesses downtown. And then I started telling them about the history of Long Beach. And this woman starts laughing. And she says to me, "Ooh, you're quite the booster." And I thought, yeah, you know what? That's me. I am. I'm the booster. And so that's how I self-identify now. I'm a booster of Long Beach. My family's been here since 1910. I love this place. I love the downtown, and I'm really happy to be here, and I try and help promote it in any way I can. So that's kind of part of the story. The other part of it is really I thought I would share a little bit, since this is about food and community, to talk a little bit about my own experiences with food and community before we start introducing the featured speakers. So, first of all, my name is Dibble, which is actually derived from the name of a primitive agricultural implement called a dibbling stick, which is a hollow reed fluted at the top and pointed at the bottom, which you drive it in the ground, and you dibble seeds into the ground. I kid you not, you can't make this shit up. Okay, so, growing up, I grew up in a family where my grandfather was a farmer in Minnesota. He raised grain, and he was the president of his grain silo co-op. So I have kind of that in the genes somewhere. Mom and dad, okay? Mom was Swedish and Norwegian, so we lived under the constant threat of lutefisk. She kept a jar of it in the refrigerator. I don't think that jar was ever actually opened, but yeah, if you misbehaved, you were going to get the white fish. The other thing, though, was an amazingly magical thing called lefse. Yeah? You know lefse? Yeah. So my mom used to get it from the old ladies at Our Savior's Lutheran Church, which I think, isn't that over by Portfolio? Yeah. And, I mean, that's amazing stuff. It's like a potato pancake, flat, thin, and you put butter and sugar and jam and all this good stuff on it, and there's nothing like it. I actually managed to make some once. Chef, I made lefse. Yeah, right? So that's my mom's side. My dad's side was British, okay? And of course, the British are well known for their haute cuisine. Actually, it's kind of, what's that? Now they have great cuisine? Okay, when I was growing up, you know, toad in the hole and spotted dick, these are not dishes that inspire However, in doing family history research, I learned we were actually from Cornwall. And one of the things in Cornwall, my father's family were miners. If you ever watch Poldark, okay, so my relatives were the ones covered in filth with bad teeth. Yeah, well, in Cornwall, they were hard rock miners, copper and tin, right? Same idea. In fact, they emigrated to Wales and mined coal, which is how they came to the United States. So they ate they were meat pies called pasties. And when I was a kid, we used to go to this place in Los Alamitos called the Pasty Kitchen. I know, I still go there. But at the time, I didn't realize that this is actually something from my own heredity. This is my own past. They made these meat pies so the miners could take them underground, and they could eat them, and they didn't have to be wrapped, because they were basically, it's like a pie that's closed in on itself, right? Like a sort of a calzone, if you will, with beef and potatoes, and I mean, they make different kinds of them, but they're really great. So that's family-wise, background-wise, that's kind of some of the food influences. So one of the things about my family was we ate dinner at the table. And since this is about food and community, you know, really your first community is your family. So sharing meals with the family was what we did. No TV during dinner. That was the rule. Except Friday nights. We got to watch some TV during dinner on Friday nights. So I was thinking, though, as I was preparing for this, I remember spending the night at my friend's house and discovered that at their dinner table, they were not allowed to speak during the meal. I thought, that's really weird. We sat at our table and told stories about what we did during the day. We shared our lives. And I honestly think that that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this right now, because I became a storyteller and a writer. So I think that's pretty important. Growing up, I ate tuna fish and mayonnaise sandwiches as my staple food for until college. At one point, I remember opening a can of tuna one day and going, oh no, I can't do this anymore. And I had to toss it. And it was a year before I could eat tuna again. I had a strange affinity for liver and onions. I mean, a lot of people can't even think about that, but I actually loved liver and onions. So that's some of the weirdness, actually, I think that's fairly normal stuff. The weird part is this. My parents decided when I was a kid that in order to protect the family's future, that the thing that they needed to do was start an avocado farm. Now, this is the mid-'60s. Nobody knew nothing from avocados. Okay. We started this farm down in Valley Center. That's where we spent our weekends. I lived Saturdays and Sundays with my family in a tool shed. That's really what it was. It was a tool shed. So we would go down there. We cleared this 10 acres of land. We planted 1,000 trees. We put in the irrigation system, fertilized. The trees at that time, I was a little kid. I was taller than these trees. It was a very unusual way to grow up. And then, of course, when the trees started producing, we had bags full of avocados that we would bring home every weekend. Tried to give them away. No one knew what avocados were, which is really funny to me now. And in fact, I didn't even like them. I mean, I was a little kid. Today, I love them. And I wish I had bags full of avocados, right? Now, the funny part is, honestly, the guy that had the ranch above us, he started planting these things called Kiwis. And those were really weird. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And I wanted to do this because I was feeling like there's an increasing divisiveness in our world, and that one of the things that brings people together is food, sharing meals. So I thought, what could I do? And I thought of this, food and community. And then I thought, I read an article about Sasha in the newspaper, and I thought, okay, there's my farmer. And I'd been seeing Chef Paul for the last couple of years at least, and the events that he's been catering and the things that he's been doing. And I thought, I want to meet that guy. So I'm going to set this up so I can meet him. So there was that. And then Kasdan, you know, I met her a long time ago, and I saw what she did, and I thought, there's my restaurateur. So we put out the ask, and they all said yes. And I am so happy that they are here.